Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we're looking at the Defiant. So this is the Space Vehicle Launch Complex. So this is really a big vehicle. It was a wonderful playset for everybody that had gotten it, um, and I'm sure it was the envy of all those that never did. So the Defiant Space Vehicle Launch Complex was first released in the United States in 1987. The playset includes two figures, an astronaut payload, and the crawler gantry driver hardtop. The Defiant was also sold in 1988 and was discontinued in 1989. So we have the space vehicle, the booster slash space station, and the crawler slash gantry. So we do have a picture. This is all taken from Yo Joe. Because we have so many ads, I think it's due to all the political season that we're in. So I've just kind of taken a lot of this stuff and put it over here. Um, but if you do look up at Yojo, you'll find the stuff there. So we do have the driver slash pilot hardtop version one. Hardtop was released exclusively with the Defiant system. Um, let's see, and then we also have Payload, who again was released exclusively with the Defiance space vehicle complex. So I did grab a couple pictures. We have a wonderful front view of everything. And then we do have a rear view as well as the isometric side views here, um, looking at everything. And this is a huge playset, wonderful playset actually in a lot of regards. And then we kind of get down to now this is the booster slash space station. So it does have actually four different weapon systems. You see the two here, and then from the back view, we don't really see them. And having the isometric views, we do see that we have two weapon systems that actually kind of fold out. So I wanted to make sure that we had that. And of course, then we have our cockpit view, which has room for four figures to be seated. And in the rear section, where we actually have an airlock on the top, um, kind of a couple different platforms, as well as a general cargo bay area. So it is a very big, a very interesting system, and it's very cool in a lot of regards, especially for the kids. And then we look at the Defiant shuttle itself. So, looking at how it's all done up. Now, there are some things on here that was not listed on Yojo. Um, if you notice underneath the nose here, there are a couple panels that open up. Now, in those panels, where you have that kind of sticker going under, or you have the United States there, and then we have a sticker and there's a panel. Those panels open up, and there are guns on here that are not listed. Or at least on some of the knockoffs they were. Because I do remember seeing way back when Kmart had a knockoff of just the Defiant shuttle here. Um, and I believe, and I know, well, I don't just believe, I know that they had it because I want to say I picked up that shuttle just because. And it's got room for three figures here. And then in the payload, we do have a cargo bay. In the actual one, we do have what looks to be a crane and all that. And the knockoff one, we don't have that. So, all right, so easily and lost pieces here, easily broken slash lost pieces. There are many easily lost pieces. These include the elevators, the guardrails, the laser cannons, thruster novels, the chairs, transporter door, hatches, panels, missiles, machine guns, umbilical cords, and a wing or two. The wings on the Defiant here actually kind of come off, so those are easily lost. So we have this being featured in the Defiant Space Vehicle Launch Complex. Was featured in several various media of the G I Joe throughout the years, including trading cards, comic books, cartoons, and commercials. So here we have one of the comic books here. Um, then we have a paint by numbers 30th anniversary salute. And then we have a folder, a Belgian poster, and Nintendo with whatever video game that they had done that they had kind of shown it as well. And then of course we have our commercial. Okay, so when we look at this, I had to break this down to all three different vehicles. So looking at the Defiant crawler itself, so I kept this at Walker scale. Now, I'm taking a stretch on this as far as the actual length of all this stuff. So please bear with me. If you feel it's wrong, by all means, change it to whatever you feel you need it to be. So I do have this at a roughly about 262 feet or 80 meters. Has a crew of four. Um, I don't have any actual stats that see how many crew members we're going to have here. So I left it at four, being very conservative on this. I don't have passengers being listed on here, although, you know, it's a possibility. I figured that if anything, we're going to have people sitting in the shuttles and all that. So, um, not so much in a vehicle, just being what it is. All right. So we do have a cargo capacity. Um, I just have 600 pounds of just flat out cargo. I don't know what we should really have on that, so I kind of left that be. It is full coverage. It is ground altitude, maneuverability of 2D plus one. We have a ton of wheels here. I figured it's going to go what it is. I did keep it at a faster speed than it really should be. Um, I have it going at about 65. Actually, I thought when I was grabbing this kind of comes at um, so I really had this for the crawler itself. I kind of grabbed the Mauler, and I'm kind of cheating on that a little bit to just kind of get some basic starting stats. Now I do have it going at 65. Like I said, uh, it's I think it's a little fast, but we're fantasy realm here anyways. So um, maybe it should be actually at about um, I'm thinking 45, really 45 here, and then I got to kind of change this up. Um, let's see, 45 miles per hour comes out to being what in miles per hour. Um, so let me do a quick search on that one. Um, let's see, 45 mph and kph. Oops. All right. So that takes us to about 72 kilometers per hour. So that's what we'll put it at. If I can get here, 72. All right. So because this is a big beast here, I give it a body strength of 60. I kind of left it at that. I figure we're going to have this fairly well armored, and all that. Looking at everything for weapons, this does have quite a bit of weaponry. So we have two Surge heavy blaster cannons in the rear. That's, copying the name from what it actually has in the diagram here. And then we have, these are at Walker scale, fire control of 4D, damage of 70. We have four countdown heavy blaster cannons. These are the ones on top. Okay, and these are going to be at Starfighter scale, um, and it's going to be 4D for fire control and 5D for damage. Now we have Protector heavy blaster cannon. This is going to be a front turret, so this is our turret up front here. Let's see, we have that at Walker scale, 4D for fire control and 6D for damage. And then we have three twin heavy blasters. Now, these are anti personnel blasters. We have front, left, and right turrets. So one over the cockpit here, and one on the left, and one on the right. Personnel scale, fire control of 4D again, and damage of 9D. Uh, Maybe I should have a bigger crew because of this. I don't know. I'm just kind of leaving it the way it is. Honestly, I guess I do for the front cannon here. I do see a chair for that. Um, I really don't see anyone shooting the anti-personnel weaponry, so that would have to be inside, and then the other ones would be out there as well. Um, so let's see. We'll just keep it a crew four, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure this all out here. So some things may not completely jive, and I do apologize for that. Let's see. So we have the Defiant shuttle itself. So that's going to be at Starfighter scale. Length is 184 feet or 56 meters. Now, I never thought I'd be looking up to see exactly how big the old space shuttles were, but this is the same length of the space shuttle. Not without having any reference to go off of to say this is what we should be at or anything. I figured, well, maybe the best way to go about doing this would really be, hey, let's go find out what the space shuttle was. So that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. Although this is going to be a little bit wider, we do have a crew of 3, passengers of 6. Cargo capacity is about 30 tons, and that's kind of coming from the space shuttle itself. Um, but the cargo capacity seems like it varies depending on re-entry and takeoff and everything else because of the fuel that's being used and so on and so forth. Um, I just grabbed 30 tons, just being on the safe side, and we're running with that. Of course, you're going to have full coverage. It's a space of 4. I don't want this to go very fast, but I do want this to be usable here. Okay, maneuverability is a 1D. Um, Figuring that this is it's more of a cargo vessel, not a fighter like taking the other ships that we've converted into starfighter scale. It's not going to have all the maneuverability that we would normally have. Move now. Oddly enough, I looking at what the space shuttle kind of lands at because it's kind of gliding. It comes in at a slower speed, um, but it takes off like a Dickens. So um, I just figured, you know what? Let's just have it at a standard move speed at 100 or 210 miles an hour or about 600 kilometers per hour, um, keeping it roughly there. Body strength is a 3D at Starfighter scale. And like I said, now this does have the 2 panels that open up. So we have the 2 dual laser cannons. Fire control is 3D, damage is 5D. And then we have the space station. So this again is going to be a Starfighter scale. Taking a complete guess at this, saying it's going to be a little bit longer. So I have it a little over. What do we have? 4 meters longer than what the Defiant itself is. Um, it's got a crew of 5, passengers of 20, and cargo capacity of 100. But this is also a little bit wider too. So I'm being gracious with this. Um, Again, it's going to be full coverage, space of 4. Maneuver is going to be a 0D. Same speed movement for atmosphere and body strength of 3D. So I'm leaving all that pretty well the same. But this has 4 dual laser cannons, all at Starfighter scale. We have 2 in the front, 1 in the left turret, 1 in the right turret in the back here. So it's a fire control of 3D and damage of 5D. So it took me a while to actually create this. Going through this now, it doesn't take as long because I'm just kind of rattling off the stats here. Um, Trying to go back and forth what range or what sizes I should have things. You know, what are we calling the weapons? Are they being named or whatever else? Trying to make sure it's got a feel of this, whether it's 100% accurate or not. That's always going to be up to everyone's point of view. I think I'm getting a fairly good view of what this really is. I think I've encompassed this pretty well. Um, if you agree or disagree, always let me know. That's fine. Um, but I think it gives us a kind of nice starting point, if for nothing else. It's not like this has been game tested and thrown into different scenarios. This is just kind of coming up with some base stats. So hopefully everything seems like it should fit and have the right flavor of everything. And that's what I'm going for, whether I'm right or wrong. I'm hoping that I've got it pretty well, but if things have to get tweaked, they have to get tweaked. So with that, thanks for visiting. It is a big vehicle. It is a wonderful vehicle to look at. Um, I didn't have the actual price on this. I kind of missed that one. Um, I don't know if I can pull this up. Actually, I still have this, so let's see what the price was. so we can kind of marvel at what it was. This was $100 back in '87 here. So, um, with that, it just is what it is. Today, I mean, this would go for a whole heck of a lot more. But we do have almost 40 years in between. So, with that, thanks for visiting. It's always wonderful having you come and visit. Hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.